Today we've got a fresh setups for Hype, TRX and FIL, with Hyperliquid's recent 60% surge drawing renewed attention. But was it a legitimate move? Let's break it down. Hi everyone, stick around until the end for a brief check-in with the altcoin money flow. But first up, we've got Hype, which has had a nice recovery move following the brief invalidation of this double bottom pattern, and now the price action has come back down to retest the neckline, giving us a nice opportunity. But of course, before we enter trades like this, considering that Bitcoin has been very bearish, we have to ask the question, is this pump legitimate? Is it fake? So doing my due diligence, it turns out that a newly created wallet pulled about 45 million in USDC, which is the European version of the stablecoin USDT, from Binance and put it into Hype, into Hyperliquid, and used it to purchase roughly 290,000 Hype tokens, which is about 9.77 million, as this article highlights, signaling major legitimate whale accumulation. And this whale likely chose Hype over other assets because of the protocol's fee buyback and burn mechanism, which is drawing a lot of attention, underscoring the fact that this has been chosen over other alternatives in the market, especially given the bearish conditions because of the bullish fundamentals associated with this token. So despite some recent reports suggesting the pump was fake, I can tell you now the surge is a legitimate reflection of the token's current bullish nature, meaning that when we return to the chart, we can look at this as a legitimate bullish move because of the fundamentals and not some market manipulation, which is potentially going to reset. So this is the 4-hour chart, and currently the first possible entry point for Hype is $28, which is where we are at the moment. Now, if Bitcoin can form a base at around 81k, which is the support level it has now reached, if we do get a bounce from here, we could see Hype moving up with a modest TP around $36. But if you are super cautious, $26 here, this lower red mark, is also a good legitimate entry. And when we're looking for trade entries in very challenging market conditions, we want to, of course, look for the point of invalidation for the bullish setup. The textbook play says we come in at $28 because that's the retest of the double bottom. But knowing what the market is like at the moment, despite this bullish move, despite it not being fake, if Bitcoin continues to be bearish and struggles to maintain support at its current levels, then we could see Hype move down a little bit deeper to 26k, and therefore that is a better position to enter. So you could look to accumulate a small amount of your position here, maybe 10 to 20% of what you intend to trade with, and then only add some more if we arrive at $26. That's the way I'm going to be trading it. So to be safe, look to come in at $26, or if you're a little bit eager, start to roll in at 28, but leave the majority of the portion of your intended position for a slightly lower entry, so we can potentially scoop up the price action like this. But a nice little setup with Hype. Next up, we have TRX, which we've been paying attention to in our private group. We had a double bottom, a break of the 200 MA on the daily chart, a clear break above diagonal resistance, and now we're coming back down to retest. Now, I was telling members of the private group that under normal conditions in the market, you could expect a breakout, a retest of the 200 MA, and then a move up from here. But because ultimately we have 200 MA here at around 0.294, and then the double bottom neckline also coinciding with this nice little pocket here, despite the price action now having lost the daily 200 MA, this again at around 0.288 is the double bottom neckline and is also acting as the invalidation line for the bullish premise, meaning bulls will be fighting for this level. So if you come in here at around 0.288 current levels, it is a manageable play, because if the price action reverses from here, you've got a good low average price and you'll be taking profits at around 0.31. At least that's what I'm intending to do. If we do see a move lower from here, which could happen if Bitcoin struggles to find its feet, then at least we're in a manageable position, which will likely, the price action will give us a few opportunities to exit and reposition at lower levels. Whereas if we had been a little bit eager and we had come in on the retest of the 200 MA slightly higher up at 0.29, then right now, our stop loss would be at risk. And if the price action does just head lower from here, we'll be left essentially holding the baby at these levels. So in these difficult market conditions, we want to look for these lower entries, not because they are guaranteed to go up, but because they are manageable in terms of risk. And then if the market does reverse, and of course the lower Bitcoin goes, the probabilities of a bounce increase, and Bitcoin has been coming down for a good couple of weeks now. It has now arrived at the bounce point we had from the markdown phase in November, meaning that we could see a move up from here, meaning the probabilities are starting to move in our favor. But nonetheless, we have to be prepared for more downside. So smaller positions at these lower levels, the invalidation points, and then with a bit of luck, the stars will align, the money flow will sync up, and then we'll be able to look to take profits at around 0.31. And of course, we're also oversold on the stock. But that's TRX.
Hi there, I'm James. I'm the founder of ArcisFX. I'd like to personally invite you to join our 24/7 trading group. This is built for traders who want an edge. Inside, you'll get access to live calls on Forex, commodities, crypto, energies, and metals, along with exclusive daily analysis designed to unlock your trading potential. And this in both traditional and now in digital markets. I'm talking Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, and tethered currencies. You'll gain early access to insider news, real-time updates, real-time support, and premium educational content. If you want to sharpen your skills and boost your success rate, then join me and Paul in this community. This is a fast-growing community of traders who are now writing their own success stories. So don't wait. Join up now. Your edge starts right here.
And finally today we have crypto OG Filecoin, which is desperately seeking renewed attention following a very long phase of stagnation last year. We did have this cup and handle pattern, which was about to be confirmed in the middle of January, but then of course trade wars, economic instability resumed, and we have now reset back down to essentially the base of the cup and handle with a double bottom on the RSI. Now, of course, we are in a downtrend, and it'd be very easy if Bitcoin heads lower for Filecoin to continue down, which is why we need additional confirmation. So first we have the double bottom on the RSI, and if you see a break of that, that would be a bullish signal to potentially enter, because quite often the RSI can give us a signal before the price action does, so we could look for that confirmation of the double bottom on the RSI, which will be a break of this level around 44. And additionally, you can look for a break of this lower time frame resistance line before entering as well. So if we see a break above here, we then look to come in on the flip side like this, which is mirroring the double bottom on the RSI, and then we have a bullish signal to enter on the back of, as opposed to entering here with the price action potentially about to roll over. But if Bitcoin does manage to stabilize itself, a good opportunity with a little bit of risk, which is why we're going to mitigate that with waiting for the RSI to confirm, and of course waiting for the price action to break out of this diagonal resistance, and then we can look to come in the flip side. That gets the probabilities back in our favor, and of course if the price action does move up from here, that likely means Bitcoin is also bouncing, which again is increasing the probabilities in our favor of a move up. But for Filecoin, this is definitely wait for confirmation before entering, and we've got TP1, 2, and 3 here. I would suggest that we're looking for either a TP1 or a TP2 move here, as opposed to trading the whole range. But if you are looking for a midterm hold, then of course coming in at the bottom of this range and looking to take profits at 1.7 isn't a bad play. But right now we have to presume that the market is going to remain quite bearish, and therefore we want to get in at these levels, potentially take profit at TP1 or TP2, and they get out. But that's Filecoin. But let's just quickly touch base with the money flow to highlight the current state of things. So what we need in order to enter an altcoin long is we need to have total 3 or total 2 at support, and currently total 3 ES has a double bottom and is tapping this moving average on the 5-day chart, and this of course has been respected since the start of the bull run. Now of course there is a risk this could break if Bitcoin continues bearish, but in terms of where we want to be, we don't want to be entering a long up here, we want to be entering a long down here. And then the second thing we need is for Bitcoin dominance to be coming down. Bitcoin dominance is showing signs of life. It is moving down in altcoins' favor, highlighting that Bitcoin is approaching long-term support, and people are taking positions based on that, on the presumption of a reversal. And this is where we are with Bitcoin at the moment. You can see this is November, this is where we bounced, and now we've returned to this level. So people are entering positions based on this. So Bitcoin is at support, which is where we want it to be. Total 3 ES is where we want it to be. Bitcoin dominance is showing signs of life in the direction of supporting altcoin longs, but this will not play out until Bitcoin gives us that reversal signal. So all we're waiting for is Bitcoin to show some signs of life, put in a reversal pattern or a strong bounce, and then altcoins will move. But we are one step away from improved altcoin trading on the back of a very difficult couple of weeks, and now we just need confirmation. But for more winning setups like this, please consider subscribing and also hit that like button and let us know in the comments which of these altcoins you're thinking of trading this week. We also have a private group which posts charts like this throughout the week. But that's it for now. You can catch James on Sunday for his weekly Stocks and Commodities live stream, Sunday Night Live. It's a really great show, and you can also check out my crypto focus live stream from yesterday. Definitely worth a watch if you missed it. And I'll of course be back on Tuesday with Bitcoin update. Catch you then.